Hi, so what I'd like to do now is go over the writing expectations and assessment and the TRI method for writing here for the course. Essential for you to do well. First off, we're going to do what's an active learning form of assessment, meaning we're going to use open response questions where you, with each question, you need to answer what, why, and how you're going to go about doing it. The answers need to be of a high quality to get all the points, so there has to be clear descriptions and you have to follow this TRI method. Make sure when you're writing, you're assuming the reader has no understanding of the sport, of being in the class. You're writing this for someone who's never seen this before. Again, the reason we're doing open response questions, it measures both what you know, but more importantly, what you can and will do with the knowledge. That's the active learning. These responses then can be reflections on your coaching and your coaching style. Secondly, the assignments are not essays. They need to be what's called a portfolio, and I'll explain that next. The reason we're doing that, a portfolio tells us how you're going to apply the research and the information and how and what you've learned. So again, the assignments each scaffold towards a final portfolio. So again, I'll give you feedback with each so we continue to make improvements, and by the third or fourth week, you'll have her down. So what is a coaching portfolio? Think of it as a tool to kind of provide to an employer on how you would be, give them a window or a picture of how you would be a head coach. Think of it as a working resume. It's going to give them a direct reflection of your leadership, your management philosophies, but it also gives kind of a collection or a sample of your work. For example, if you were an artist, it would be a picture, all your paintings and so forth. So you want to give this visual illustration to the portfolio. Again, it's going to talk about how you build your program and how you would lead as a head coach. The key point here is to have tons of illustrations, concrete illustrations, how you're going to do it, not how somebody else has done. Again, the format needs to be bold. This is where you want to have the TRI with each area, each section, and that's where you need to have the headers. It needs to have headers for each section, subheadings. You want to make this easy on the eye so somebody could just pull out, and that's that resume look. Should be able to just pull out components that they want to gravitate to. You can add pictures and illustrations, and you will use templates and things to help give those visual illustrations as we go through. So the writing method is called TRI for this, real simple. Each question you need to answer with a thesis statement. That's your position, your point. You need to reinforce it then, meaning you have to cite this with a credible reference, and you have to cite it correctly, and we'll talk about how to do that. And then lastly is you need to give me a concrete illustration or example of how you're going to do this. Give me a visual, give me a story, but give me a concrete example of how you're going to do it. So what is a thesis statement? It's real simple. It's kind of your main point, your position that you want to present to the reader. All right. Again, you'll do this with all the writing assignments. Again, I want it to be your position, not trying to articulate the information you're getting from other people or myself in the lectures. A thesis statement should not just announce your topic, but it should provide a point of view that you're going to defend then through the rest of the portfolio. So everything should be connected. The other thing is, I always say this all the time, it's really not to be just an opinion statement. When you give an opinion, anybody can do that. What we need here then is to support that with evidence. And that's where the reference comes in. It adds credibility. And then the illustration gives us a concreteness to it, okay? Ideally, you want to sum it up in one sentence, but again, you can then expand from that. But I should be able to get that right away. It's best to start with the thesis, but you don't have to. Ways to design it is, I would argue, the best way to do that is just dive into the research and get different ideas, different ways to do things before you just set in on your own mindset or from your own experiences. So start in reverse order, do that research, come up with a concrete example then, use the references and research to support it, and then design your thesis statement at the end. Once you've done all of that, go back to the rubric and read the instructions. Make sure that the thesis statement fits what the rubric is specifically asking for. One last thing, can your thesis change? Absolutely. what you're going to do with the first few assignments is there'll be components, particularly your philosophy, I'll ask you to redo, add, expand, edit, and make improvements. And hopefully that's what's going to happen through the sharing of the lectures, through the discussion boards, through the readings, through the videos, to the workshops. Your thesis or your philosophy will change and grow and evolve. So the test is, it should be easy to pick out the thesis when I'm looking at it. It should kind of have a stickiness to it. And then remember, just use the TRI method to support every position so it's not just an opinion. All right. Hopefully that gets us set on how I will do the writing expectations and how I'll do the assessment. TRI. Got it.